Brisbane Wakes Up with Stav, Abby and Matt on B105.
We all know how hard teachers work because we say it every time. They've got to deal with our kids at school. So respect. And I think there is a lot of maybe confusion of what's happening tomorrow, because I think I was confused as well. I was like, it's just overpay. But we're hearing from a lot of teachers yesterday calling up and saying it's not just that, it's also conditions as well. But do you send your kids? Do you not send your kids? What's the right thing to do?
With the teachers' strike tomorrow, we've got the president of the Queensland Teachers Union on. Cresta, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today? Really appreciate having your time.
Now, this is the first time in 16 years, and I am presuming this was not the outcome you wanted. You wanted it to be sorted out before it would come to a strike?
Yeah, look, we definitely always work to try and get an outcome in that first month after the agreement lapses, but this time we just haven't been able to get there. But I really want to thank you for having me on today, because I want to say thanks to the community and the parents who, have supported public educations, and our members are really feeling that support in the community. So that's great.
It is obviously pay, and I think the politicians are the ones making the decision, but they often get automatic pay rises. But what are the other conditions that the teachers are concerned about, and especially you guys?
Yeah, look, I think it's really important. Like, wages are obviously important and salaries are important, but at the moment our conditions really need a look at and an improvement. So, I don't know how old, you guys are way younger than me, right? So I was at school over 30 years ago, and the model for resourcing coming into schools hasn't changed in that time. Now, school looks really different from when I was at school. So we've got a lot more complexity. We've got a lot more going on in our schools. We're really a community hub. So with this agreement, what we want to agree to is look at how the resourcing comes into school so that it supports our teachers and our school leaders, but the kids as well. They really need that support targeted to them. So that's one thing that we're after. The occupational violence, our members, they're suffering from this. We want to have some resolution about that. What can we actually do? Like, if somebody gets hurt in class, we don't want them to have to go back and face that kid within the next half an hour. There's some issues going on there. And, you guys know we're suffering from a teacher shortage, not only in Queensland, but around the country and world. So we want to be able to attract new people because we've got great conditions. And then we want to be able to retain the teachers that we currently have.
It's a good point you make, Cresta, because when I think about, I didn't do too well at school, right? And I reckon I was hard to deal with at school because I struggled to learn.
Spirited, we call them these days, Cresta.
I might have got that too. I might have got Cresta talks too much.
But there are teachers, and I could name them, who made real effective change in my life. One in particular who I wouldn't have got my radio career if he hadn't have seen that in me and pushed me that way. And I think we need to really recognise with our teachers, they see things in our kids that we may miss while we're parenting that could really set them up for the rest of their life.
Absolutely, and our teachers really connect with kids. They, the reason that we went to university and did teaching was to connect and build relationships with kids, and it's actually at the core of what we do. And when we're distracted from being able to, build those relationships and teach kids, because there's so much other stuff to be done, and a lot of the time it's just stuff, then that's a distraction from building those relationships with kids. And we love it when you can talk about the best teacher that you had or that recognised something in you. That's so critical, and we want to do that. We want to be able to build that for the next generation and support that for our community.
And there is the side of it, and obviously this is what strikes do, is that they're inconvenient to people, so you notice how important they are. But there are going to be some people that can't keep their kids at home on Wednesday, of course.
Of course. So, look, what we've done is, I think usually you have to give about 3 days notice that you're going on strike. So we've given more notice than that so that we can help prepare the community and parents for that. So we're really asking for parent support where we can and where they can to make alternate arrangements for tomorrow and not get the kids to school if they can possibly do that. If kids are going to school, there will be supervision, but there'll be very few of our teachers and school leaders at school tomorrow.
Before we spoke to teachers yesterday, I was going to send my son. I was like, okay, cool. No, I can see exactly where you're coming from, and we'll make an effort and just make everyone suffer here when I bring him into work in the morning. But it's
what an education.
Yeah,
it's an education we're providing.
Probably not for the better, but anyway.
But it was interesting talking to him where he's only in year one, and I do really support what the teachers and what you guys are doing for it. But it's like trying to explain to him, because he's like, nah, I'll go to school because I've got a running competition at lunchtime. what do you suggest, I guess, to get the kids involved? How would you explain it to them?
Well, I think you can talk about, do you have some kids in your classroom who maybe have some complexity? The teachers are, looking to support, every kid in your classroom. Do you have enough? It's hard in year one, I suppose, but your teachers are doing this to help you. They really care about you, so that they're taking this day. It is a little bit difficult for prep in grade one, isn't it? But I think if we go from the care factor of what our teachers and school leaders are bringing, that's one of the reasons why we're doing it, because our teaching conditions are kids' learning conditions.
Yeah. And you're saying that there are a lot of complexities, like you say, and I think it's amazing where our kids can see that as well now in the classroom. And we do have a lot, but that's when teachers' aides come in. And as they're saying, there is really not that enough of support for those kids so that they can still do lesson plans. It feels like it's not supposed to be a babysitting. It's actually supposed to be a facility where they learn. Would that involve teachers' aides as well?
For tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, tomorrow, the kids who are there will be supervised, and it's up to the department and the minister to put those arrangements in place to make sure that there's appropriate supervision in place, because our members will be on strike tomorrow.
My sister-in-law's school, unfortunately, and God bless them, their Year 5 camp, they leave tomorrow, and they've all decided we can't take that away from them. They've got to be able to go on camp, because that would be devastating.
Exactly right, and that's what I mean. Like, we do have some of these little things that, sort of put a little bit of a spanner in the works, but absolutely right. Like, parents have paid for that camp. The kids are looking forward to it. And to be fair, the teachers are probably looking forward to it as well, because you get to see kids in a completely different light. So we don't want to wreck those things for families and our members and the kids. So, we definitely know that some of those camps are proceeding and absolutely understand that.
Well, Cresta, thank you for your time this morning. President of the Queensland Teachers Union. We hope after tomorrow's strike we can get a resolution for you guys.
Let's hope so. Look, thanks for having me on, and thanks to parents in the community.
Stab Abby and Matt for breakfast. B105.